What? One thing that you have to, I wonder if, oh God, I hope they go into this more. I'm so curious. I don't know if Charlie would ever be super brutally honest here though, because it sounds heartless, but like, there's something to be said for a conservative walks through life and ignores like the fucked up people around him and just finds stuff to be excited about. And you can get a lot of people to follow you with that message. But Democrats will walk by and be like, well, it's not really fair that this guy's getting fucked over, right? It's like, sure. And this guy's also kind of getting fucked up, right? It's like, sure. This guy's also getting fucked up, right? Yeah, I guess so. And it's like, damn, this is like, this is some downer shit. The fuck? Can we find a way to be a little bit more positive about this? Because god damn, yeah, I guess like what you're saying is right, but I just feel like shit now. This is one of the reasons why I say that, like, I know people get triggered about me, but we don't have to talk about like taxing and destroying all billionaires. Let's like celebrate the fact that there are some rich people that support Democrats because we have billionaire allies, and just fucking tax them more, or find ways to make them invest in our country more. Or when you talk about like diversity is our greatest strength, right? Diversity shouldn't be your greatest strength, and that you have to constantly look around and make sure that your friend group is diverse enough and that everybody is like the right skin color, or you've got enough women in your group. It's more just like, it's cool to have multiple voices. It's cool to have different content creators or different actors or different people involved in communities that might bring, you know, cool or new ideas or whatever. Like there's a positive way to spin things, which conservatives do almost like on a lot of their messaging. There's a positive way to spin things. And it feels like sometimes liberals have an issue where it feels like an obligation instead of an opportunity sometimes. Please, though, public optics. Well, if you're practicing politics, then yeah, your goal is to be your goal is to be working on optics publicly because you're trying to get elected. I'm trying to think. When I'm giving these statements, I'm trying to like fact check these against what I know, and to not be too enamored by the conversation, right? Because like conservatives are negative for sure, but like I feel like the overall ethos, I usually phrase it, or I frame it negatively on my stream because it feels negative to me, but they always frame it positively. Whereas I would say we're receding from the world stage, they would say America first. Or where I would say, you know, like all of these policies are leading to the destruction of, you know, X, Y, and Z thing. They'd say, oh, no, we're actually making America great again. Okay. They always have like a positive way to kind of like frame stuff. Whereas like, what's the positive framing for diversity is our greatest strength? Usually it's like white people are evil and you're all colonizers and Western imperialism and white people need to like, I think there's a reason why, what was that one survey? It was like the only racial political cohort in the country that viewed themselves more negatively than other races, I think was the white liberal by like a huge margin, I think. Fuck, does anybody know what I'm talking about? Bar graph. Fuck, I'm not gonna be able to find this. But it's a pretty surprising thing. And yeah, it hurts because it's hard to be like excited or proud or, you know, whatever. Kamala Harris ran an almost exclusively positive campaign, no? I think she did. I think Kamala Harris's campaign was probably as good as it could have been, all considered. Now, nobody will ever give her credit for that. Maybe not even the history books. I think she ran as good of a campaign as she could in terms of her messaging and everything. But she was fighting against so many different things at that time that, like, Jesus, like what, like, was there ever any hope? Like, ignoring the economic issues and the inflation and everything else. Like, there's just so many different aspects of what she was running against. But, yeah, like I'm trying to think, like, I feel like it would be cringe, or not cringe. I would be like scared if I was in a group of a bunch of progressive people and somebody's like, well, talk to us about America. Like, what do you think something you're proud of? It's like, I'm actually really proud of what Anglo-Saxons or Brits were able to do when they came to the United States. I think we did build a lot of cool shit. I think it's actually really cool. Like, I feel like people look at you like, excuse me, what was cool? The way that they raped Native Americans, the way that they murdered slaves, the way that they abused Chinese people building railroad. What part of it was cool? Just curious. You know, it's like, okay, well, Jesus, when you put it that way. Nah, man, we didn't need to go for Republicans and cozy up to the Cheneys' destiny, no? You say cozy up to the Cheneys. There was like one thing. Fuck, I wish I could remember too. There was a senator or there was a mayor, somebody, or a governor, somebody ran and they campaigned, I think, quite a bit with Liz Cheney. And I think she won her ticket. I think she overperformed the ticket, but I don't remember who it was. I read an article on this, I think it was this morning or yesterday. But Yeah, progressives don't want to hear it, but you kind of have to go to the moderate. You'd have to go to the middle more if you want to start winning voters. Progressives think that it's more progressive, but it's not. Like, that's a losing political formula, but I'm not here to talk to those people.
Marriage equality. And so I've been at this for years and years. I take a backseat to no one. But I was actually on the issue of sports, which...
Oh, was it Slotkin, the person who gave the State of the Union response? It might have been that person. I think she overperformed her ticket, didn't she? Somebody going to look it up.
In the last few years, it's just exploded. Trying to understand the 10 athletes in the NC2A, 510,000 athletes, but 10 athletes. But how...
Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, she won a state that Kamala lost. Okay, there you go. And that was somebody I think who heavily campaigned. She did a lot with like Cheney, right? Mean in-group bias by race or ethnicity. Black. How much they like their race or have an in-group bias. Hispanic. Asian. White liberal or non-liberal white. Okay, is a little bit about in line with these. White liberal. Holy shit. Not good. This is not good, okay? You don't have to hate yourself to recognize that people in the past have done wrong. Like, Jesus, not good. This is from 2023, but I think the studies revolve. Oh, yeah, okay, 2018 pilot survey. But there's been a lot written about this.
How profound it at this...
Talking about it from a different framing. It's true. Because when you're thinking about the oppressor and oppressed, you're a loser there if you're the oppressor. And you can never join the oppressed. So there's two positions for you to inhabit as a white guy. Well, three, because you can become non-binary. Okay. But generally, there's two positions for you to inhabit as a white male. You can either be the oppressor, who's like a fucking piece of shit, evil human being who's like a conservative, or you can be the oppressor who's nice, and then you have to hate yourself, right? And that's it. There is no positive framing. The best you can be is an ally, which, no offense, I think I've literally tweeted that a million times. Don't ever fucking call me an ally. I am not a fucking ally. I have the things that I fucking believe in, and if we align politically, then good, and I will align politically, but I'm not a fucking ally. I'm not some fucking stooge here to parrot whatever stupid cringe bullshit you have just because you're black or trans or Asian or whatever the fuck else. I have my own idea. I don't give a fuck about whatever this bullshit is. Don't call me a fucking ally, please. It's like the most condescending, self-hating thing in the fuck. I'm an ally. Whereas on conservatives, on their issues, well, when they're speaking of a position, they're speaking from a place of like right and wrong and just or unjust, moral authority. I support DEI on my side because I agree that I am part of the oppressor class and I've oppressed people for a long time. We got even more opportunities. Meanwhile, on the conservative side, they're opposed to DEI because that's the right thing to do. And there's so much more justification, so much more righteous justification for that and moral justification. And you feel good. And even if there are things that are like maybe like negative, you still feel good because it's the right thing. I'm anti-immigration, but it's the right thing to be because I care about Americans first, you know? This is true. Yeah. Why do you think some immigrants resonate with the anti-immigrant or anti-civil rights messaging when it benefits them or did at one point? Was it Satoshi? No. Fuck. Oh, I'm not going to remember. It's the guy who did the... I want to say Satoshi Kon. Is he the guy who's the writer for the good animated movies? But that's not it. What am I thinking of? Is that who I'm thinking of? The surreal shit. I feel like he had an article or interview where he said something about, they were like, why do you write such good women characters? And he was like, I don't understand women at all. And I don't know anything about them. So I don't have any like preconceived whatever. And I just write them like a whatever, I inject whatever I want to message or whatever. And as a result of that, he apparently he writes interesting, when I say good women characters, I don't know, I guess his anime are interesting. Or it's like the dating advice of like, what's the best way to talk to a woman and, you know, blah, blah, blah. It's like, if you peel everything back, it's like, well, if you just think of them as like, start with thinking of them as like a normal human being. And then you can start from there. And so much works better than if you go in with like all these weird archetypes built in your mind. For a lot of immigrants, and progressives have a huge problem with this, for a lot of immigrants, brown people, black people, Asian people, whatever, a lot of them, most of them even, are just ordinary fucking people that have all the same stupid fucking things and thoughts in their heads as white people, believe it or not. There are a ton of, you know, like if you think of a person who's like, people coming over from Mexico, they're fucking lazy ass motherfucking pieces of shit. They don't work for shit. Fuck them, make them come in legally, right? A person who came illegally from Mexico, found work in the United States, and is now thriving in the US, can say these things because they feel that way. Because survivorship bias doesn't just affect white people. Survivorship bias affects everybody, okay? Some of the most racist communities in the United States are people of color. And some of the most immigrant-hating people in the United States are immigrants. Some of them legal immigrants. My own family is an example of this, okay? It's not just Cubans or Gusanos or whatever the fuck. Just everybody falls prey to these same biases and these same traps or whatever. But progressives sometimes will look at different racial groups, and in a weird way, progressives treat the white man as this godlike figure. A progressive will look at a black person and go, hold on, you can't even make fun of the fact that somebody might have curly hair because you're trying to enforce the standardization of white beauty standards, and it's not fair to expect different races to all look exactly like white people. And if you say any of these things to any black person, it's a microaggression, and even these small things day to day are going to build up and cause this person a level of anxiety that's going to alienate them from society and make them feel blah, blah. Okay, but then when it's for white people, well, we can say fuck white men, murder all men, kill all men, fuck white people all day, every day. It's like, wait, well, hold on. Where did all of our theory on microaggressions go? Why would we expect white people to be able to endure this much racial abuse every single day? Well, because that racial abuse doesn't matter and it doesn't count and it's not real and it's whatever. Okay, but if you call a black person an N-word on the internet, they're going to fucking spontaneously combust? What's the difference? Well, the difference is that white people are gods in a way, in a roundabout way. That's what it feels like. But yeah, so when you, what was the original question responding to? Like, something about how can immigrants think this way? Because everybody can think this way. Like, this is one of the things that I said, ironically. I feel like progressives fell into this trap of ending up being more racist in a lot of ways. And conservatives, through their racism, it feels like they ended up being not racist in a lot of ways. Because conservatives are like, fuck it, we're giving up on Hispanic messaging, okay? La Raza or whatever other organization, fuck it, we can't do it, okay? Fuck Hispanic people. We're just going to talk about like working class people and blue collar shit or whatever the fuck else. And that messaging, because Hispanic people, black people, a lot of them are just like ordinary white people. They're like normal human beings. We're like, oh shit, this messaging resonates with me more than some blue-haired white chick saying that I'm Latinx or whatever, right? Or Latina or whatever the fuck it is, you know?
Reflected truth that the voters felt.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And because voters felt as if their country was slipping away.
Yeah.
Now, the Democrats have a choice. You can say...
I get food. Hold on one second.
Honestly,
Too unscripted and too masculine. Thinking if I agree with these words. I disagree with Charlie for the same reason that I agree with Charlie. Like, I think if Democrats, here's what I think is happening. I feel like Democrats are afraid of their own shadows, to where like a Democrat is like, fuck, a 3-hour podcast. I don't know if I'm going to piss off the wrong person or say the wrong thing or do like something like, fuck, we can't, I don't know if we can do it. I don't know if we can. And I think if they would just try it more, I think they'd be like, listen, bro, you're okay. It's okay that you called somebody retarded, or it's okay that you might have said something here, or you didn't use like the right pronoun one time, or you didn't you're going to be fine. Most people don't give a shit about this. To this point, I think one of the issues they ran into, I feel like I read so many stories about this, where one of the issues you have is a lot of staffers tend to be young, and because they're young, they also tend to be a lot more progressive. So the feedback you might get from your own staffers doesn't actually match the impressions that you leave on wider center-left libs, right? Whereas somebody might be petrified. Like if my candidate goes on the show for 3 hours, he might get into some wild territory and say some like wild and wacky shit. But maybe him getting off into some more human territory and not sounding like he's just a billboard for Democratic messaging, or that every single sentence has been focus tested, maybe that would be better for them, you know? I wish I could remember what I watched, but I said this a lot, but I don't remember the specific things. I feel like I watched Kamala Harris. I feel like there were 2 times I saw her speaking a little bit more off the cuff. She just seemed like a normal human. I'm like, what the fuck? Where the fuck is this? Like, why not just go up here and speak like this more often? Like, you can just be a normal human. Nobody expects you don't have to talk like Vosh, right? Just go up and be an ordinary fucking human and you'll be fine. But Democrats are petrified of doing this for some reason, I think.
Because I get the whole manosphere that's
By masculine thinking, I also think a big problem here, and it's taken Democrats too long to realize this, and I hope Gavin Newsom doesn't like clarify his remarks later or something like this, but like, I feel like something happens where like there's 100 people in a room and there's like 2 people saying, from now on, the 80 white people here are all going to do a land acknowledgement and acknowledge their oppression of us historically, and we're all going to go around and say pronouns. And I feel like everybody goes along with it because you don't want to be the guy to call it out. But like, if one person be like, I think this is actually kind of like really gay. I don't want to do this, okay? Hold on. This is dumb. Can we not? Do we really need to do this? I feel like 10 people will be like, oh, and I feel like 89 people will be like, yes, I agree with that guy. Yeah, this feels really stupid. Can we just not do this? Because there's so many people where, one of the things I feel like when I talk to conservatives, they're always happy that I'm not emotionally retarded. And when I talk to liberals or progressives or people further to the left, they're always happy that I'm more relaxed than they would expect me to be. Even when I deal with conservatives, right? Donut operator and all those fucking losers until they got ass pained about my Trump comments. And I feel like there's so many people in the room who are like, yeah, I think this is stupid too. I don't agree with this. I don't like this. I don't even like this. I don't know why we're going along with this. I don't know. I don't feel this way either. I don't know. I don't like this shit. I don't know where this came from. But this is just kind of what we all do, right? Stop. Or if we are going to do that, at the very least, point that at a fucking candidate. Because when conservatives do it, okay, because there will be a moment eventually, assuming this country doesn't fucking collapse into nothing, there will be a moment when MAGA wakes up and they're like, oh shit, okay. Yeah, I don't really know why we just decided we fucking hated Canada and Mexico. I mean, I get Mexico, at least there's a lot of brown people, but Canada? I don't know why we hated Canada. I'm not sure. There will come that moment. But at the very least, that hatred that they had was pointed towards the candidate, the political candidate that they wanted to like. It's like, fine, we might hate Canada, but at least we're fucking voting for Trump for it. At least we're voting for somebody for it, okay? We go to the ballot and we vote. I don't know why we're voting. I don't know why we hate these people, but I know who to vote for because I hate these people, right? At least they're pointed towards a political end.
I'm going to send out a stupid...
Federal doesn't make it civil versus criminal. Also, does he mean misdemeanor versus felony or...
what? In 8 USC 1325.
Curious what this says, actually. We've read this before, but I don't know what the enforcement looks like on this as well. Improper time or place, avoidance of examination or inspection, misrepresentation and concealment of facts. Any alien who enters or attempts to enter the U.S. at any time or place other than as designated by immigration officers, or eludes examination or inspection by immigration officers, or attempts to enter or obtains entry to the United States by a willfully false or misleading representation or the willful concealment of material fact shall, for the first commission of any such offense, be fined under Title 18 or imprisoned not more than 6 months or both, and for subsequent commission of any such offense be fined under Title 18 or imprisoned not more than 2 years or both. Civil penalties. Any alien who is apprehended shall be subject to a civil penalty. Oh, actually, wait, no, this... There is wait, what is the difference between civil penalties and not? Never mind. Charlie was correct, I think, when he said civil. I was thinking civil versus criminal, like tort shit or whatever. But any alien who's apprehended while entering the United States at any time or place, other than as designated by immigration officers, shall be subject to a civil penalty of at least $50 and not more than $250 for each entry, or twice the amount specified in paragraph 1. Civil penalties under this subsection are in addition to, and not in lieu of, any criminal or other civil penalties may be imposed. Oh, okay, so it would be on top of this. Marriage fraud, you can't do. Immigration-related entrepreneurship fraud. Is there a misdemeanor felony distinction made at the federal level? I said that, but I actually don't know if that's true. Are there federal misdemeanors? Fuck, I don't trust the random lawyer websites. God damn it. Question wording greatly affects support for deportations. Deporting all immigrants living in the United States illegally, 43% support that. Deporting all immigrants living in the U.S. illegally, even if that means they will be separated from their children, who are citizens, 28% support that. Separating children from their parents when the parents are detained for entering the country illegally, 17% support that. Arresting people who are in the country illegally while they're in the hospital, 27%. Arresting children who are in the country illegally while they're at school, 18% support that. Arresting people who are in the country illegally while they're at church, 20% support that. Deporting all illegal immigrants living in the United States illegally who have been convicted of a violent crime, 82% support that. Illegally. And then deporting all immigrants living in the United States legally, who have been convicted of a violent crime, 68% support that. Jesus. Deporting all immigrants living in the United States illegally who have not been convicted of a violent crime, that's at 37%. That's lower than I thought. But yeah, okay, so that's interesting. Yeah, the phrasing on this. So do you want to deport all immigrants that live in the U.S. illegally? 43% are like, yeah. But if you ask, do you want to deport all immigrants living in the U.S. illegally who haven't even been convicted of a violent crime, then that number goes down to 37%. Interesting.
Should be off limits.
Can I just say something right now about this interaction? Because in a way, Charlie Kirk is right in his criticism of Gavin Newsom here, but Gavin Newsom would be right if this conversation happened on 100 different podcasts, right? If you really think about it, I'm not fucking retarded. He's still the mayor of California, right? He didn't, yeah. Or I'm sorry, delete that clip. Not mayor of California, governor of California. Well, that's kind of like the mayor of California. He's the president of California. President, mayor, governor, same thing. This is the mayor, or this is the governor of the largest blue state in the country, who's having an hour plus conversation that's like pretty like detailed and in there, right? Now, I didn't follow this, whatever happened historically or in the country. I didn't follow this at all, but I'm guessing it sounds like Xi Jinping came to the US, went to California, and they managed to clean it up and make it look real good. And then when he left, everything looks like shit again. And obviously people are like, wait, what the fuck? Why can you make it look good for him and not for us, right? Which it sounds like Charlie Kirk and them did effectively weaponize, right? Which is true. But I mean, the idea that like, well, can you clean something up real quick? You know, and obviously you're not permanently fixing a problem. Sure, that is a stupid vector of attack, or it's being weaponized, but nobody is out here saying it's being weaponized. Nobody's saying that. Nobody in the media is putting out that perspective except Gavin now on his podcast right here, but there are no other liberal platforms that are spreading that message. So Charlie is correct, but a lot of it has to do with the fact that they have built this media empire, right? That goes all the way from president to upduder on Reddit. Cute. Okay. Well, I'll be back tomorrow. Stay safe. Be careful. Don't die. Go watch this video if you want. Link it to your friends. Stay safe. Be careful. Have fun. Bye.